This is the at-home review check-in to make sure you have your answers correct so you're ready to go for our test tomorrow. So if you're just checking your work, please look at these answers here. Make sure as you do each of them, you're asking yourself and thinking through each of them. Is this representing almost all, close to a half, almost none? And make sure that it's the same percent for, or same visual for each one. On the test, there won't be pictures to do, but you are always welcome to draw the pictures to make sure that that is the same amount for each part. If you got them all correct, you could fast forward to the next part to check the next section. If you need some help walking through these, stick with me and I'll walk you through them. 1/5 is not user-friendly for decimals. Decimals don't talk fifths or eighths or 15ths or 20ths. The only thing decimals understand is tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So in order to make it decimal friendly, we need to make it out of tenths. 5 to 10, that's two groups of 5 to get us 10, so we need two groups of 1. So then we have the 2/10 here. That is almost none, which is the same as 1 out of 5 pieces would be like I ate none of the pizza. 2/10 then easily translates to decimals as 2/10. If you made the mistake of doing 0.15, 1/5, 1500ths, does that sound like the same amount? No. So that would not be the way we do it. Remember, for your fractions, they have to be decimal friendly, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. And then to go to percents, now instead of being out of tenths, decimals are always out of 100. That's what they mean, per 100, per cent. That key term cent means 100, like centuries or centipedes or cents in a dollar. So 2/10 is the same as 20%. And look at that picture. There's still two sticks there. They're just broken into hundreds. So there's 20 of those little pieces. If you thought it was 2%, your picture should have been very different than these two pictures over here. That is really practically none. 2/10 is at least some. So again, make sure that you're visualizing and making sure that all of them are naming the same exact piece of the square. This one should have been pretty straightforward because it's 87%, 87 per 100. So 87 hundredths, 87%, 87 hundredths, 87 pieces out of 100. Same with this one, 34 hundredths, 34 hundredths, 34 per 100. And then this one, again, 25 or 25ths are not decimal friendly. We have to have tenths, hundredths, thousandths. But the good news is 25 can easily be turned into hundredths, just like quarters in 100 cents, 4 quarters. So I need 4 groups of 25, 4 groups of 18 would give me the 72 hundredths. So then 72 hundredths, you can also see 18 out of 25, definitely more than half, and close to being all. Then we have 72 hundredths, same amount, and then 72 per 100, 72%. All right, now let's look at the back. Here is the back of the paper if you want to grade and check your work. If you are waiting to do them along with me, then I will go through that step by step here in just one moment, but I just wanted to give you an opportunity to grade your paper. Make sure you're writing your answer statements clearly. I add a little information like the cost after the discount so that I make sure that I am being accurate, because it could be the original cost, it could be what's left. So if you got those correct, you are ready to go. I'll see you tomorrow for the test. If you did not get those correct, or you want me to show you how I did them, stick with me and I will show you what my thinking was. So on number 1, we always want to read the problem all the way through. So we have the Summit Lakes football team won 80% of their games this year. If they won 16 games, how many did they play? So the question is, how many did they play? The answer statement would be, they played blank games. Then I look back, who or what is this problem about? It's about football games, so I wrote games here. Then I asked myself, what do I know about the games? Well, I know they won 80%. So which model would help me to show 80%? And again, if you're not good at coming up with these models and which one to do immediately, you might want to spend some time on the PowerPoint slide or the slide presentation that's in Schoology, going through and kind of practicing looking at those. Any of the groups of 20, 40, 60, 80, those are going to be our fifths, and so they use the fifths model. So I marked here 5 boxes, and then I marked that that was 80%. I kept reading and it said they won 16 games. So 80% and 16 are the same. So right here, this part of the games is how many they won. So if I knew they won 16 games and that took up 4 boxes, I split 16 evenly because my goal is always to get the number in here. So I split 16 evenly to get 4 in each box. Therefore, there's a 4 in that box. So the total would be my 5 groups of 4. So I have 5 groups of 4 that gets me to the 20 games. Let's look at the next one. I found a great deal at Bass Pro for a bow, which is for hunting, bow and arrow. For my dad, that was 75% off. If the original price was $80, how much will the bow cost? So if the question is how much will the bow cost, my answer is the bow will cost blank. And then I just, after the sale, I put a little extra information there because, again, I know that on price problems, I could either need to find the original price or the price after the sale. In this case, it says, if that was the original price, how much will the bow cost now? So that would be after the sale. So then who or what is the problem about? It's about a bow and arrow. What do I know about that bow and arrow? I know that it's on sale for 75% off. So which model shows 75%? That's the fourths model. 75 is the same as 3/4. 3/4 out of 4 is 75 cents. 75 out of 100 cents, 75%. So I knew I needed 4 boxes. I knew that the original price was $80, so that's my total. So then I asked myself, if this is the total, what number would go in each box to add up to 80? I know it has to be the same number. I need 4 groups of some number to equal 80. So in this case, it would be 20. 20, 40, 60, $80. So then I marked the 75%, which is 3 boxes, 25, 50, 75%. That's the discount. So what's left over is the actual cost. So I didn't have to do really any problem solving except being able to read my tape diagram that if this is the amount I get to take off and not buy, this is the amount I have to spend. So $20 after the sale. That's one heck of a deal. All right, moving to the next one. Sneakers are on sale for 25% off the regular price. If the discount is $24, how much will the sneakers cost after the discount? So how much will the sneakers cost after the discount? The sneakers will cost blank after the discount. Again, I noticed that it had to do with 25% off, so I know that model is fourths because 25% is 1/4 or 1 out of 4 quarters of a dollar. So the discount is 24 again, so the 25% is 24. So 25% is one of the boxes, so that equals 24. Therefore, there's 24 in each of the boxes. So how much would they cost after the discount? Well, the discount is one part, and then this is the price after the sale. This is the original price. So I knew it was 3 groups of 24, which is $72. So the original price is 4 groups of 24, $96. That would make sense that it would be less than 96 after I get a discount or a sale. I would pay less than the whole amount, $72. All right, next we're moving on to Brody's video game. Had 70 levels in it. He completed 21 levels yesterday. What percent did he complete yesterday? What percent does he have left to complete? So I have 2 question marks here. I need 2 answers. I need yesterday's percent and the left amount percent. Who or what is this about? It's about levels in a video game. So when I thought about the levels, I know that it has a total of 70. So I knew that that would go over here on the end. Then I knew he completed 21 levels yesterday. When I look at 70 and 21, I think 21's definitely less than half. So I just kind of drew a little mark right here. Then, to figure out how many levels he had left to do, I had to figure out, well, how many levels are left? So I did 70 minus 21, and I figured out there were 49 levels left. So then I start to look at 21 and 49, keeping in the back of my head that I always need to have the same number in these boxes. So I'm thinking, what can I break 21 and 49 up in and kind of skip count by that number? Immediately 7 came to mind because I know I land on 21 and 49 when I skip count by 7s. So then how many groups of 7s does it take to make 21? 3 groups. So I broke it into 3. How many groups of 7 does it take to make 49? 7. So I broke it into 7. Then I checked, that's 10 groups here, which for my percent models means that that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So each of those boxes is worth 10%. Therefore, yesterday he did 3 boxes, which is 30%. He still has 7 boxes left, which would be 70%. That makes sense because 21 is less than half, so 30 is less than 50%. It also makes sense because 30 and 70% go together to make up 100%. Our last problem here, I graded 36 papers last night. I have 60 total papers to grade. What percent did I grade last night? What percent do I still have to grade? So what percent did I do last night? Last night's percent. What percent do I still have to grade? Left to grade percent. So I know that it's 60 total. That immediately goes on the end here. Then I looked at 36 papers. That's a little bit more than half, so I kind of just broke it right here. I knew that was 36. So then I asked myself, well, how many pages are left? So I subtracted. I did 30 minus 60 first because that was easy, and then 30 minus 6 is 24. So I knew there were 24 left. So now I ask myself, what number can I skip count by repeatedly and land on 36 and 24? I thought about 6, so I tried 6. If you tried 4, you could draw that, but your boxes don't come up to the right amount because it would be 9 boxes here and 6 boxes here. That's 15 boxes. That's not one of our models. So I would just try, are there any other numbers that I could come up with? Yes, 6. So I did 6 boxes of 6 here, 4 boxes of 6 here, because 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 6 is 36. So then I looked at it, how many boxes is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's my 10 model. My 10 model represents 10% for every box. So that 36 would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60%. That makes sense because 60% is more than half, just a little bit. 36 is more than half by a little bit, so that makes sense to me. And then here would be 4 boxes, which is 40%. That makes sense because it's less than 50%, less than half. Also, 60 and 40 go together. Whoops. That should have been 40. Hope my friends that were grading it earlier see that. Left is 40%. 60 and 40 go together to make 100%. If you're still having trouble on these items, you might check the slideshow to practice your models that are in Schoology, or you could come see me tomorrow morning between 9 and 9:30.